Let's start at the most basic level that we can talk about, which is a variable. Now, when we talk about any variable, all we're doing is describing some characteristic that's going to take on different values, and that's important. We need variations. There has to be different values that are taken on by different subjects or experimental units. So I'll give you an example, very simple. Age, we could think about it in 1, 2, 3 whole years. We could think about it as a continuous time, right, in seconds. We could think about it as discrete groups like over 18, over 21, over 65. The same thing goes with income, partisanship. Again, we can do that along a latent dimension, which can be continuous, or we can do it by groups like Democrat, Republican, Independent. Gender, we can also do it in a more traditional way of binary. We can also have more fine-grained, discrete categories for self-identification. There's many different ways that we construct a variable, and some variables are going to change more than others, but the important thing here is that we need variation. One type of variable is going to be a response variable. There are many synonyms for this that include outcome variable, but essentially this is what we want to explain or predict. Remember, there are different goals that we have with regression analysis. And we also have an explanatory variable or an input variable, and that's going to be the variable that we use to predict variation in that response. This can also be called a covariate or a predictor. There's many different names for it. Now, once we have our variables, we have to have some unit of observation. And this is a single subject, and the easiest way to think about this is going to correspond to like a row in a data matrix where each row is a single person or an observation, and our columns are going to be our different variables. In R, we can imagine our tables or our matrices looking something like this. In this case, the unit of analysis is a country year, so we can see that this is listing countries like Afghanistan, Albania in a given year, which is not displayed, but let's say 2010. And then we have other variables of interest or other covariates that we may be interested in. What I really want to stress here is that how you organize your table is very important. You can imagine that maybe we wanted to do this at the region level, so maybe we aggregate up. We may want this to be at the county or district level within a given country, so we might have to go down with our unit of analysis and disaggregate our data. What I want to stress though is regardless of what your unit of observation is, in order for us to conduct regression analysis, we're going to have some response variable y, which is going to be indexed I for each individual observation, and some list, maybe, or just one explanatory variable. And here you can see the small xi is just one explanatory variable, or if we have multiple, we'll have different columns in our matrix, and so that is going to be indexed with a large X.